In October of 1991, a small grass fire grew out of control, quickly turning into a roaring inferno that swept across the dry, drought-stricken hills of Oakland, California. At the time, my family lived right below the blaze in the flats of Berkeley. Despite only being 3 years old at the time, I can remember the fear that gripped the entire San Francisco Bay Area. All the adults around me held their breath, waiting for the fire to become under control or for evacuation orders to come. It took firefighters 4 days to completely extinguish the firestorm. In the process, 25 people lost their lives, and almost 3,000 houses and over 400 apartment buildings spread over 2 square miles were destroyed. While the scars the fire left on the landscape have long since faded, I am forever aware of our precarious position as a wildland-urban interface and our reliance on the balance of the natural world around us for our safety, a balance that is under threat by one of California's most feared and beloved trees. Eucalyptus globulus, or Tasmanian bluegum, came to California by way of Australia. Able to grow 4 to 6 feet a year, they were planted as windbreaks and as a quick supply of lumber. However, the wood split and cracked easily and was unsuited for woodworking and carpentry. While eucalyptus has unarguably transformed the landscape of the Bay Area, locals' opinion on the trees are split. To some, the trees are deeply entwined with their experience living here. The shaggy bark and sickle-shaped leaves feel like home. Others view them as a menace, crowding out native flora and posing a serious risk of escalating wildfires. It would be almost impossible to design a tree better suited for spreading wildfire than a eucalyptus. Constantly shedding bark that dries quickly, eucalyptus forests build up a thick layer of plant litter that acts as kindling. Their oily wood will catch more easily than native species. Once fire reaches the crown of a tree, long branches full of oil-laden leaves help the fire spread. The many groves of eucalyptus throughout the Oakland Hills have the potential to fuel another wildfire of devastating proportions. All it takes is one small spark. As climate change continues to create a drier and more arid Bay Area, managing the invasive population of eucalyptus has become a high priority for the area's municipalities, one they've spent millions of dollars on. Thousands of eucalyptus trees have been removed from across 800 acres. Most are chipped and sent to the green waste section of our local dump, releasing all of the carbon that they've been sequestering from the atmosphere. This is an enormous untapped resource and overlooked potential. The workers tasked with this challenge face a host of hazards, from falls to abrasions and more, but one of the most dangerous risks they encounter might not be what immediately comes to mind. The dense vegetation and leaf litter of a eucalyptus grove create an ideal home for another invasive species whose habitat is expanding due to climate change, the western black-legged tick. These tiny arachnids carry Lyme disease, a devastating illness. For those laboring to restore our natural landscapes, this adds another layer of vulnerability to an already demanding job. Protective gear is an essential tool for keeping these individuals safe. What if that gear could be made from the waste of the very forests they are restoring? Eucortex is a novel textile made from the discarded foliage and bark of eucalyptus trees. Biomass that would otherwise feed fires or decompose in landfills is instead transformed into a flexible, durable material with many of the same properties as traditional leather. First, leftover bark, leaves, and seed pods from the eucalyptus trees are harvested. Each has its own useful attributes that help form eucortex. The bark is fibrous, the leaves are resiny, and the pods are full of oil. Next, the bark is processed with potassium hydroxide to allow longer fibers to be extracted. The fibers are mechanically separated, then suspended in a solution of water, cellulose, and glycerin. The mixture is baked to remove excess moisture, creating a supple textile that's easy to cut, sew, and shape. When pulped leaves are added, eucortex becomes harder and stiffer, great for areas that need extra protection and reinforcement. It's resilient, resistant to wear, shearing, and puncture. Its porous structure allows it to absorb eucalyptus oil, which has been shown to repel and even kill ticks, adding a vital layer of protection for those working in areas with high exposure to tick-borne illnesses. With subtle alterations to the recipe, it can achieve different finishes, thicknesses, and even colors, adapting to a wide range of needs in the field. This is not just one material, it's a platform, a way to create protection through regeneration, strong enough to withstand the dense, tangled terrain where eucalyptus is being cleared and possessing innate traits that respond to the risk of the work itself. Out of the experimental process of material creation has grown Understory, functional workwear built for those who move through the complex, often hazardous ecosystems where eucalyptus trees are being removed. It's made for ecologists, restoration crews, land stewards, the people working to protect us from wildfire, tame invasive species, and create room for native ecology to take hold. Each piece is purpose-built for its environment. The garments are designed to move with you as you traverse dense thickets and uneven ground. They're reinforced for durability and protection, and of course, repel and shield you from any ticks looking to hitch a ride. I've started with a gaiter, but that's only the beginning. I'll be expanding the line into a full range of outerwear that includes jackets, pants, and overalls, as well as forestry tools and accessories. The garments are sewn using cotton thread with minimal hardware so that when they reach the end of their life cycle, the inorganic materials can be removed and they can be buried, prolonging the sequestration of carbon and eventually nourishing the soil. Understory understands that the landscape we come from is a vital part of our story, and that sometimes the crises that form us become the strengths that carry us through to a better future.